Hi, welcome to the Stockinette Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as just Rennet, and this is episode 117. 117. I like odd numbers.
Okay.
Especially ones that end in 7.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
it makes me happy. I don't know. Don't ask me. It's been cold here.
Yes.
Like 20 degrees below the normal cold.
Yes.
And I think my children have like surpassed cabin fever, and now they're like at cabin hysteria. Like we went downtown to Rochester, had a ice festival. They had ice sculptures. They call it social ice, and it's kind of around bars, but like during the day on the weekend, it wasn't like all about the bars. And like they didn't want to be out in the cold, and so they literally begged me to go climb stairs. So we went into the buildings downtown and climbed the stairs up and back down and up and back down. And Mom, can we go over here so that we can climb those stairs? And I was just like, okay, climbing stairs again. And I don't have I like climbing stairs, so it's not a big deal for me. But it was just kind of like, my children are so cabin feverish that they want to climb stairs.
Okay.
Truth. Don't know. Don't ask me.
I haven't noticed it too much. We get out for like swim lessons and gymnastics and things like that. But yeah, the can I watch, can I see, can I, like all the screen time that's been happening lately because we can't do anything else. I mean, sure, they go off and they play with their toys, but then they're back, okay, can we do this? And we play games, or we do a puzzle, and then, there's just only so much you can do inside before you're like,
And I mean, in general, I don't have a problem with going outside when it's, 10, 20, getting, up into the 30s. It's like, let's go outside. But like when it's -8 is the high for the day, it's like, no way. You go outside and it hurts. I don't want to be out there. So I canceled out of my half marathon that was on Sunday. I really had to like resist. I wanted to be that bad ace, right? Like, I'm gonna do this. It's Minnesota, and I signed up for I planned to do a half marathon in February. It could be cold, but like when I woke up on Sunday, it was -18, and at race time it was -10, and we had just gotten like an inch of snow, and the paths.
Bizarro word. Bizarro world.
Yeah.
That cold, and we had fresh snow.
Yep. And so like the paths weren't really well cleared, and so it would be really slow going and really cold, and that's a bad mixture when you're running, right? Like if you can get out and you can really get going and your body warms up, but like if you're just like plodding along in an inch of snow and you can't really go fast because you're afraid you're gonna slip or slide or whatever, -8 can feel like -8 the whole 2+ hours you're out there running, right? Ugh. So I was not interested.
Nothing about that sounds like fun.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it would have been a story to tell, right?
Yeah.
Like uphill both ways type story to tell, but no, I resisted. I was mommy-ish. Like if I were mothering myself, what would I do?
Oh, yeah.
And I would say, no, don't go do it. That's silly. So I'm hoping that.
So you hear that, people? Mother yourself. Say,
mother.
If I were telling my child what they should do at this moment, be stay inside.
Don't go out in -8 and run for 13 miles. Please don't. So that's our weekly weather report / shenanigan plans. Not really shenanigans, Shenniplans. I was planning to run that, but now I cannot. Or I did not. So I'll have to sign up for something else. And I think I just blew past. Nope. Blew past what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah, my family wanted to see the Lego movie, and we're not very good about getting to movies early or whatever. and it never seems like it's that big of a deal, but it was opening day, you know, like that Saturday. And I was like, well, let's go, you know, and we were 15 to 20 minutes early. The line was out the door. We just drove fast. We're just like, no, I guess we're going to the library. And of course, everybody in the car, I don't want to go to the library. Yeah. But what are you going to do? So we're seeing that this weekend. Oh, we hope.
Fun. Yeah, it got good reviews, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. My kids like all the ones that they do on Cartoon Network. The Lego, I don't know. They have little Lego shows on Cartoon Network.
So. What else is going on? Administrati. The self-striping KAL is in full effect. We are legit this year. This is the legit hand gesture I've determined. And Post Yarn is our fabulous sponsor this month, and then they sent along 2 skeins, and so we had the January drawing with theirs as well, and I neglected to mention, Tiger Beat, if you're watching, that you should contact me to get that yarn. Yeah. So, contact Mawa, and I shall send you the fabulous shades of gray with a pop of teal. We also had some questions in the last week out on the forums that I wanted to clarify. If you're new to the KAL, you can indeed catch up. So if you didn't get January's in, the only thing that gates your number of entries is the month. So in February, you're allowed 2. If you knit 2 self-striping separate entries in the last 2 weeks of February, totally counts. Get your 2 entries in. So you can play catch up, and please do so. Also, if you use some self-striping, but it's not the only yarn that you use, so say you do something where the self-striping is striped with another yarn, or you mix another yarn in, totally counts. You're using a skein of self-striping. You're using some self-striping, and that's the purpose of the KAL, is to use up those.
I've seen the Franken socks too, where they used all the leftovers from previous self-striping.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yes, very, very cool. And I think color work would look really pretty with self-striping used, you know, as contrast.
Segway machine here.
Segway! There are actually Segway machines, right? Amy is turning phrases over there. Watch her go. So yes, the March KAL, I have talked Amy into indulging my newfound love of color work. So stranded color work in the month of March will be our KAL. Prepare yourselves for the fabulousness that will be the March KAL for self-striping, or not self-striping, color work, stranded color work. I hope maybe to use some self-striping in mine and double dip. Might not, if I can't find things that look really good. I'm going to be doing the end paper mitts, and I don't know how that's going to look in a self-striping. Or if, and I'm kind of weird in this way, but like if I'm going to knit on 2 yarns, I want them to be very similar. Like not only in their grist and like bulk, like the strand and how they're spun and the number of plies. I just want them to be matchy. I don't know why. Like I've dealt with that with like 2-color shawls before, and the ones that I love are the ones where the yarns are similar. It's just the colors that differ. Like I don't want to mix like a merino silk with a merino plain, right? I want them to. I don't know. It's just me. Maybe I'll get over it.
I don't know. You're right. I mean, I've done that in the past, and it just, you really have to plan on wanting different textures in different sections of the shawl. So, you know, if they're too similar but not exactly the same, it's kind of like, oh, this is just odd. And you don't know quite what's wrong. But if you make them not very similar at all, like one's a lace weight and one's a fingering weight, then it feels more like a planned effort. I don't know.
Yep. Like they belong in the same object.
Yeah, just that they, you know, like, oh, these are textures. Like, we'll see.
Yep. Sometimes they could fight. I guess they could become harmonious. But I also would worry about gauge between the two, right? If you're working both of them. Anyway, you could figure that out through swatching, but I don't know that I would want to, you know, go through all of my self-striping and swatch and try to find a contrast that would match it. So anyway, neither here nor there. Things that can be talked about later. that is the March KAL announcement. What else do we have going on? We have a drawing for the Sheep Dreamery namesake. I made the statement that I couldn't think of any namesakes, and then Smoking Pipes song, GI Punk Jen, 716 Knit Yarn, put out there that there's a song called Megan, which seems very my husband-esque, the band, so it kind of makes me sad that he didn't come up with it. Jenna had to. But also the gal in Bridesmaids, the sister-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Who loves the puppies and I can't think of the actress's name.
McCartney.
Yeah.
McCarthy.
Jenny? No,
it's not Jenny. It's Melissa.
Melissa. Her name is Megan in Bridesmaids.
Oh.
And that was on cable the other day, and I was like, there's a namesake. So, you put that out there, like, oh, I can't think of anybody, and then the universe throws it in your face. There's lots of Megans in the Olympics, I've been noticing. Anyway. So, the drawing had 358 entries, 2 through 358. And the winners were
137. And that's Eco Geek, so EC0 G33K, Eco Geek. You can contact me for the Sheep Dreamery yarn. And then Megan grabbed hers that Kelly gave you.
Yep, and I had 2 non-matching skeins. So mine, I'm keeping and it was all Grello.
Yeah.
And then this one is very much me colors, but it's blues and greens and just
called
gorgeous.
Dockside.
But I'll be knitting mine, and we'll just include that in the same giveaway. So, and that was 271, and that's Yell 737.
So Yell 737, and this was Danielle. She couldn't come up with anything, so you can help her out in the threads. Danielle.
I know lots of Danielles in my personal life, but I can't think of any from pop culture.
Yeah, and I'm sure, there's got to be a Danny, or something where they shortened it, or I don't know. And, part of me thinks, there's got to be a song, Danielle, but she claims to have Googled it, and Google failed her, so. And then this one was Bernadette. And she said she wasn't necessarily a fan of the Big Bang Theory Bernadette, Miss Bernie. But I will say the Big Bang Theory came up with the most wonderful song with Bernadette's name in it. So you should probably go back and review that, at least. Google it. And Bernadette song from Big Bang Theory. But she's the winner.
Cool.
So Bernadette, Danielle. I'll send them both out. Contact me. Okay.
That wraps up. Oh no, we were going to talk about the RSS update. If you hadn't heard about it enough, we've talked about it every single episode since we got the blip letter. Had a couple questions this week after we switched it over, I watch you via Blip. Will you be going away from Blip? And we're going to stick around on Blip as long as Blip will have us. I've heard other podcasters mirror the same sentiment. We really appreciate all that Blip has done for us. They host our files and they distribute to places. So as long as they'll have us, we'll continue to have it'll continue to be hosted there. It's being hosted other places now as well, like YouTube, and served up to iTunes via RSS feed. But Blip will continue to be around. Hopefully if you've opened iTunes recently, and you obviously have, if you watch us via iTunes and you're now hearing this, our logo should have changed. So we're now the bears sitting on the bears on chairs, bears on the couch. Bears, not cats. Yeah. And
bear in underwear, look dynamite. Anyway.
Then I'm just dancing with you. What was I saying? So I've also gotten some feedback that some episodes may have been marked new if you're an iTunes subscriber. Also, the folks that are Downcast subscribers are resubscribing, and I can see that happening via FeedBurner. And away we go. It's looking,
Woohoo.
things are looking sunny. The episode that we put out there that was the RSS update PSA was significantly smaller, so hopefully things continue to work well
with
larger ones.
My Downcast seems to still be working well. I opened it up the other day to check on us, and everything was coming in and got downloaded, and
Way to check on us.
No issue. So.
Excellent. Way to check on us. I appreciate it. With that, let's just mosey on into the rest of our show.
Okay.
Let's settle in.
Finished objects, got none. In the sense that I had some squares done, I've decided to start blocking, so they're all being worked at home, and I'm not traveling with them. So
I set out this week to be the most interesting podcaster in the world. I'm trying to think of in the Dose of Keys. I think he's like this in those commercials. The most interesting man in the world.
Well, he's got like a. There you go. That's better.
I don't know.
Resting his.
Which is to say that I don't think I'm interesting at all, but I was gonna have something to talk about. Gosh darn it.
You didn't preface knitting podcaster, so you think you're beating out all those other people too.
I don't know, man. Chris Hardwick wants to have a throwdown. I'll throw down with Chris Hardwick. Did he create mini socks? I don't think so.
No.
Snap. So these have been on my toddler's feet, and he threw them down the chute, and I went and got them. So they haven't been washed yet.
But did you go to Disneyland with Nathan Fillion? I don't think so. No, just.
I don't know. Teasing you. Who is better prepared for the end of days? The person who has 3 lifetimes worth of wool and can knit socks and sweaters?
Okay.
Just saying. It would be pretty cool to go somewhere with Nathan Fillion. And I saw on Instagram that they were an answer on Jeopardy.
Oh. I would like to be an answer on Jeopardy.
Yeah. Who is Chris Hardwick?
Who is the stuck-in-it zombie?
I know, right? Someday. Maybe once word gets out that I'm the most podcaster in the world. Anyway, Hermione's everyday. I don't have that big of a head. I'm saying it ironically.
And I'm teasing you.
Okay, good.
Mercilessly.
Good. So yes, Hermione's everyday sock stitch pattern. Somebody asked me whether or not that works in either direction. Is basically a texture. So yes, it works in toe up, top down. I did them toe up. I did my spacious OMG heel. And in the interest of not having too much to talk about this week, I'll be talking about my design with little skein next week.
Okay.
So didn't want to overwhelm you with too much, but I don't think I'll have enough of next week unless this monster gets finished. Mm-hmm. I do not have buttons on my Hallelujah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this on over my
bulky shirt.
My bulky shirt. It has not been washed nor blocked. I like to do that with the buttons on, but it is done. And I got these both done before the Revelinix kicked off. And yeah, don't take our word for it, because I think last week we were talking like Thursday was the opening ceremonies, and indeed they were not Thursday. They were Friday. Did you know they were Friday? I was talking like they were the next day.
Yeah, but with the time difference, when were they really?
Yeah, maybe it was the date versus when it was aired. I actually waited to cast on until I was watching the opening ceremonies. So I could wear it like this, without the buttons, and just have buttonholes on it, but make a trip to Ginny's and, did I say that right? Ginny Checker?
Yes.
Okay. I really enjoyed these sections that break up the patterning. I think that's really nice. Those were hell of a skeins. I have like a skein and some change left.
Oh, so really? So one skein is this?
Yeah, less than one skein is this.
Hear that?
Yeah.
If you're a small person.
Yes. And this is a little small on me. It'll block out.
She's gonna block that out.
That'll block right out. But yeah, I had more than enough yarn, and I really enjoy the green. I've been really greening it up lately. And yeah,
with St. Patty's Day coming, you will be all set.
Yeah, I think green, my eyes kind of change color with whatever I'm wearing, and I like the way my eyes look when I'm wearing green. Okay, I like what they look when I'm wearing blue too, but green works. Does this match or does it clash?
It goes.
Okay, I'll leave it on then.
Somebody told me that, like, well, when you're buying stuff for your house, you want all the colors of woods, right? So, like, it all goes.
How did we get to wood?
I don't know. You asked if the greens matched, and
okay.
I'm like, well,
analogy,
yeah. And I just heard the phrase today. Somebody said that to me.
So yay, I finished something, 2 somethings, and one of them's a garment, which I haven't finished yet this year, so.
Oh, that's your first garment of the year? And it's February, yeah.
I know, right? I'm feeling a little bit not like myself.
Yeah.
I also have some dishcloths I'm going to be knitting, like Bizarro World. My mommy requested them. She really likes somebody. She's not sure whether or not they knit or crocheted it for her, and I can't tell from if it's just a heavily textured knit or it's an actual crochet. But she wants more.
Okay.
So I'm going to make more for her. And I bought the dishy from Knit Picks before I was on my yarn diet.
Cool.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. Works in progress.
So I'm going to talk about my heel first. I turned the heel on the platypus socks. And they're still getting worked. So I have these named Latte My Way, because it's the vanilla latte pattern. I chose a different sort of heel that I found online, and I'm okay with it. I'm not sure that I'm going to do it again, or if I'm going to try it for myself, because these are my husband's socks. But I turned the heel, and now I'm on the home stretch. So I'm continuing to work these on the bust, just so that I can make progress on them. That and this is proving to be a little too mind intensive for the bust. So I think it would be more brainless if they didn't have one rest row in there where it's not a rest row. It's like every other row is all knits except for like the 8th one and the 12th. You know, it's like, oh. So you're just zooming along, and then you're like, oh no, rip back.
This
correct
is the
that.
non-rest row.
Yes, exactly. So it's just irritating, but it creates a beautiful lace. So I guess I can forgive them. Yeah, so this is the myrtle pattern, and I'm just knitting it in the round. I did a between a medium and a large for my cast on, and it was semi-intentional. I meant to cast on for the large and then kind of decrease to the bust, just because the way I saw that it was with the stockinette, how it seemed to shrink in a little bit. And then I figured around the bust area I'd want it to have a little bit more negative ease. So, but then when I finally cast on and started knitting, I realized that I hadn't cast on the large. I did like 6 stitches shy of the large, so somewhere in between. And I'm okay with that, because the center panel is the same and the directions kind of work off the center panel, because I'm converting a cardigan to a pullover. So all of the directions work from that front center where the cardigan would have been. So it's not like on the sides where the extra stitches are. Anyway. But yeah, it's going along. And just today in my Ravelry inbox was an offer from somebody who was in the same yarn club 2 years ago to sell me her skein if I happen to run out. So
fun.
Thank you so much for that. and I'm hoping to not need it. This is all still one ball, and I have this much left. So, I mean, that feels like significant progress for one ball.
Yeah.
Of fingering weight yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So, feels like there's at least 3 socks in there. So, it's feeling comfortable. I might make it. And I'm doing the little cheater thing. I'm only using one ball until, I get to about 10% on this ball, and then I will bring the other ball in every other round, and then continue to knit with the single ball again.
You don't have any outliers?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I mean, they're all here, so you can double check me.
Yeah, red's hard. That one looks most different when you started with.
See, and I didn't think it looked that different when it was big. So,
jeez. Poor Megan. Deep breaths.
Yeah. She's been having those moments this whole evening.
Yeah, it's like Tourette's, but that's what she said, moments. Yeah. Sorry, I'm probably turning bright red.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did one of those to you, right?
Yep.
So.
I wanted you to weigh my project and see how many socks it felt like it. Since you're the a ton of socks in it.
But yeah, that's how far I've gotten in my Ravelinic progress. It felt like a lot until I saw yours.
Well, that's a lot.
But yours is all stock in it, so
it is.
a little redemption there.
So if I were comparing, are you done? Yeah. Can I go?
I'm done.
If I were comparing this project to my last Ravelinic project, which was the Even Star, they're different sports altogether. It is winter versus summer. The Even Star had lots of intermediate goals that you could hit, like chart A, chart B, I'm here, there. And this is like, you knit a triangle and then you knit until you've got 60 grams. And so it's less about if you're able to do it and more about like, can I make myself do it? Like it's
the marathon of
it is the marathon of knitting. This is the, and I'm going to pronounce it correctly. In Portuguese, it is the viajante.
Okay.
In Spanish, viajante. There's a J and then a sh sound in the Portuguese. In Spanish, it is viajante.
Okay.
I linked it in last week's episode. And the guinea pig, I'm not going to try to say it in German. It's like versu. Yeah. I get the first part and then I can't remember the rest. But it means guinea pig in German is the colorway in Wool Mice. Lace yarn. Lace yarn is a very heavy heavy lace weight, but it's 300 grams, 1,700 yards. So yeah,
it's like a fingering then.
It is.
Yeah.
It's substantial. Patterns by Martita Bem or Bame, depending on who you listen to, how they say it. I believe the Knitmore girls say Bame.
Okay.
Martina Bame. What else was I going to say about this? I'm really glad that I'm doing it for the Ravelinics because I think it would be hard to maintain focus on it. Like you would get to this point where you're just knitting in the round and,
over 6 feet of knitting, yeah.
Yes. So I recently put this on my other cable. So this is a 30-inch cable and I put it on another 30-inch cable. And there was still some slack, right? Like it wasn't taut on the needles, and I was going to leave it like that, but then it was really hard to knit on, so I needed to continue to make progress. Sorry, I don't do everything for the podcast. I can't leave it on the long needles, but it's sat on my shoulders. It's kind of a little tight across the top, and then this part is where it goes on the shoulders, and this is supposed to be kind of like cowlish. This goes down when it's all stretched across my midsection to where it can. It went down to like my butt area.
Butt area.
Butt area. Like down here. I mean, it wasn't like below my buttocks, but my butt area. And yeah, I've knit 150 grams of the 300 grams already. So there's decisions to be made. It's already 6 feet around. I don't know if I want it to be, you know, like part of me again wants to be that bad ace and be like, yeah, 300 grams, I did it, you know. But like the other part of me is like, I don't know that I'll use it. You know?
I want to hear the voice again.
Yeah, 300 grams, I did it.
Now say Adrian.
Adrian. We're having a good time. But yeah, I don't know. It won't be as usable for me if it's clear down to the floor.
Yeah.
Like a blanket.
You don't want it dragging behind you.
And, you know, you can throw it over your shoulder and whatever.
Trip.
Yeah, but I don't know. So meanwhile, I continue to knit on. Mm-hmm. It's really great, like as opposed to the Even Star where I could hardly even look up to watch the Olympics. This is great Olympic knitting, right? I mean, it's just like, it's interesting enough that because there's something you're doing at certain points, mm-hmm. that it isn't like endless stocking it in the round, which I abhor. Like you feel like you're getting nowhere. Every time I go like this and grab out more yarn, I'm like, I'm making progress. I'm working that ball down. But shh, Amy, shh, stop it. What else was I gonna say about this before we got the giggles? Yeah.
I'm sure.
You're not sure.
Making progress.
Oh. So I inadvertently made a modification that a lot of people made advertently. I did it inadvertently. They did it advertently. I read the instructions wrong. There's a setup row, and then you repeat like row 2 and 3. I read it as a 3-row repeat.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm actually, there's kind of a, you increase and decrease and an offset, so there's no increase for that round every other round in the pattern, and I'm doing it every 3 rounds. So I'm actually increasing more rapidly. I'm increasing 4 stitches every 3 rows, where the pattern is a stitch every row, basically, because it's 2 stitches every 2 rows. So my slope is a little greater, but
maybe that's why it's at your butt now.
Well, no, I think it would be less. I mean, I think the circumference grew a lot quicker, but I would, because I'm increasing more stitches than the pattern before. But I mean, it doesn't sit right across my shoulders, and a lot of people have done it. In fact, I think a lot of people have even more stitches over, you know, like they're not doing every 3, they're only doing that 0 stitches increased every 5 rows, right? Where I'm doing every 3, because like you would have a huge head on this, or top on this thing, right? I mean, if I hadn't increased that rapidly, it would have to be clear up here. Like it would be like a big billowy cowl, basically, right? Like it would wrap up here. But yeah, it's been a journey. Yeah. It's a journey of a
sled.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a garment.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a full body coat by the end of it without sleeves. So there's that. I was hoping to do 20 grams a day, and so I started Friday night, and tonight is Wednesday night, so I have 5 days in, and I've almost done 150 grams, so I'm almost halfway done.
Okay. Cool.
And if I continue and do the whole thing, I really want to.
Yeah.
But yet I don't know that I'll use the
end product.
If I do.
You can give it to me.
Yes, I can. That, or if I don't want it to drag on the ground, I can like really cinch it up. Maybe that's
true.
Maybe that's why the increases. Yeah, that's what you said. That's why it's at my butt already.
Right. That's what I said, but you didn't believe me, so I let it go.
I had to come to the conclusion on my own, Mom. I had to come to the conclusion on my own.
I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Finnish snowboarders, people that are knitting a scarf.
Yeah.
During the Olympics. So.
And then, like, I don't know, I'm kind of, like, on the fence about some of the coverage. Like, the coach is so disinterested, or the coach is, you know, would rather be knitting. And I'm like, the coach is just standing there, you know, talking, and, like, in between, like, probably what is, like, an 8-hour day of standing there waiting, she's knitting. Whatever.
And yeah, some of the commentary were like, oh, she's so bored or disinterested. And I'm like, no, I think that it's a team activity that they've been doing, you know, something that they're very proud of. And they just wanted to make sure that it was in camera. So they put it with the coach so that, you know, hey, stand up on top, you know, with me, so that with the knitting.
And they all wear, like, knit, you know, like, I've been Googling all the knitwear.
Yeah. Yeah. And because there was one article I read where they also showed a Finnish. She was sitting not in full gear, right? So she was inside knitting a scarf. You know, so you know they've been doing this as a team. Mm-hmm. You know, multiple people on the team have been knitting. Mm. But you know, don't quote me on that. I just saw 2 Instagram pictures and read 3 articles. It's not. You know, I haven't talked to anybody personally about this object.
It's always good to fact check us.
Yeah, exactly. Please
don't take anything we say for truth. And then the only other thing I was going to say is when I saw this in the skein, I had no idea all the colors that were in there.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It kind of looks knotty, like it's got knots, like wood grain.
Oh yeah.
Like it's got like, and they've spread out as it's gotten bigger, right? Like there's little. This is a big one. Mm-hmm. And then there's a little one up here. And it's got a lot more navy in it than I realized in the skein as well. I kind of thought it was like shades of green with black. Mm-hmm. And there's actually navy in here. Like here's a really good navy. It continues to surprise me. I didn't know. In fact, I think I chose this under like the premise of getting warm that it wasn't like my favorite lace garn, right? Mm-hmm. Like it was just, well, I'm not making a garment out of it, so I'll just grab this one and make a shawl. But yep, that's my one work in progress. Yeah. I'm thinking that as I go on, I'm going to have something to throw in my purse because this is getting big and unruly.
Yeah, so you know, I haven't been completely monogamous. It's about as monogamous as I get. I have a sock that I work on the bus, and then I've been blocking things. Then I'm playing a lot of iPad with the kids. Like apparently that's a big time suck that I was unaware of. Because
I've been spending less time on Instagram because it was draining my battery. But I saw that there was an update today, so I'm hoping that
fixes it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that I guess that I was unaware of is that normally when I play those games and I don't have any like buddy watching me, I do one round and I'm good and I put it away. But when the kids are there, I'm like, next round, let's keep going. You know, like I don't know why. Just having an audience makes me want to keep going. But they're helping me. Like if it's Plants vs. Zombies, they're gathering the suns, and my son. The daughter is grabbing the suns, and my son is telling me where to plant. Like, there.
We don't play any family video games on iPads at my house.
Apparently. It's a new experience for me. So, but.
I see that you found your lost skein in enabling.
Oh, yes. This is my seaweed dramaturge from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and again I think seaweed colorway, and I don't know, this was kind of like a last minute add to the cart, and I wasn't sure, you know, what possessed me to add it, and then I got it, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty, very pretty. Yeah, the greens are very pretty in here. but the photograph didn't do these blues justice.
Yeah.
And the way that they're blending with the greens is quite nice. So, yeah, the photography did not do it justice, and it did a good job. I'm just saying, in person,
I have a hard time looking at any skeins of dramaturg right without going like, that would make a beautiful Measure in Love, or a
yeah, I know.
Just because I designed with it, so. And my kids have been wearing recently my Measure in Love that I knit out of the not forestry, the foliage colorway. And I've been like, oh man, I need to knit one of those for me. I have some in my stash that isn't growing. How about I talk about my enabling, and then we talk about the retreat, and then we save the review that we were going to do for another time so that we can give it full attention. We've been kind of chatty.
Okay. What review were we going to do?
Yarn.
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay.
And we don't want to overwhelm the new system. We've already talked too much. So what do you buy when you're not buying yarn? I buy bags, apparently. I've been on the search for a purse that has a zip top, because I've had some issues with things falling out recently, and fold over. But I didn't want the weight of a full leather bag. So there's lots of, like Fossil has a fold over full leather bag out there. I know Jordana Page has like the Quinn, which is a full leather, really big knitting bag. But I wanted one that was at least partially cloth. This has some leather accents. It's green, my color's Yo, and it's from Gathered and Sewn, which is gathered-sown.com, and then it's on Etsy as well, but I don't know if that redirects or not. She's some really cute. This purse right here is primarily leather, but has like a V that is cloth. She makes, I believe, like Bridesmaids bags, and also, this one has the rouging. I've got my keys on there because my purse always has keys on it, on a carabiner, so that I can get to them in a moment's notice. So it's got the rouging. This already has my sock knitting bag in it, so that's what it looks like when it's full. It's got this exterior pocket that I've got my phone would be in if I didn't have it, and I've got my billfold in. I remember when you first had your seatbelt purse. What else do I want to say about it? So the other thing that I really like about it is even if I didn't put my knitting bag in here, if I just put my knitting in there proper, you can fold it open and knit right out of it. Cool. Yeah. So I'm happy with it. My only criticism for her would be that I would like this to be more adjustable, to like have the whatever that's called, like the sliding adjuster rather than the tie, because it was really too long for me without me tying the knot up here. And we'll see how it wears. I really like the leather accents, and then the weight of the bag is nice. It's a nice weight. And fold it over and go. And if you have like something very large, you could leave it as it's expandable. So, and as opposed to those full leather bags, it was a very reasonable price. So go check out Gathered and Sewn, not sewn, if you're interested in a purse. I have been using Amy's mom's purse for forever. A year now, I think. I've worn it non-stop. It's been washed a couple times, and we can segue into the retreat. The new style bag that we will be premiering will be March 1st, and we should have some samples to
hopefully by the next time we record.
Yep, that we can show off. Also coming in the March timeframe for the March 1st for the retreat news is we'll have the t-shirts up for pre-order. There will be V-neck and crew, which will have their own associated price, and what was I going to say? Oh, the graphic.
Mm-hmm.
We went for 4 colors on the graphic that can be seen when you order, but also out on the blog.
Yep.
For zombieapocalypse.com, which is your one-stop shop for just about anything that has to do with the retreat, hopefully. If you're having trouble finding something, if it's not there, give me a holler, and either I can update it or point you to where it is. Lots of announcements on the retreat front. We have, if you're interested in teaching the class, that sign up is out there and has an associated deadline, but I'm not remembering it right off the top of my head. I think it might be the end of March.
Okay.
And the yarn crawl sign-ups are out there now. I didn't know if you wanted to speak to that a little bit. It is $14. It's half day this year.
Yep, half day, so it'll start after lunch, 1 o'clock-ish, and we'll be back before 6. 3 yarn stores. Each one will have a special event within the store. And the one that's up in Zimbrota will have Catherine Friend. So if you've read the Hit by a Farm and Sheepish books, she is the author. She's author of other books too, so if you go look out there, they're not as woolly related, but she and her partner own a sheep farm and run that, and she has a blog as well. So she'll be there available to sign books and chat up about her farm and her sheep, and they've had wool made out of the yarn, and
Yarn made out of the wool. Flip that.
Yeah. Stop. Flip it. That's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right?
Yep.
Like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then the other ones will just have like a trunk show type thing from a local either farm that has yarn produced or a dyer.
Cool.
So and the purveyor of the shop that's hosting Catherine is actually a dyer as well.
Cool.
So
I've yet to see what she's got, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
5K sign up. That's $10. It's the Friday of the retreat, and it's a little later this year because we're not trying to fit in both the yarn crawl and the run. So it'll be at 9 o'clock. We will rain delay plans will be made if there's inclement weather, and that will be announced on the Stacking It Zombies Twitter. What else? There'll be, breakfast after the event, and participation awards, prizes for the person that predicts their time is the closest to their actual time, which I don't know that I mentioned. It's a prediction run walk. So as we get closer, you'll predict how long it'll take you to run or walk the 5K, and then the person or persons that are closest are the winners. And there'll be some swag this year, depending on the level of participation. We could have a lot of swag, or we could not have very much swag. Both of those sign-ups are, again, I believe, the end of March.
Yeah. And they both have, I guess you're going to have your run no matter how many people want to do it. But, but my yarn crawl will have a interest level threshold. So if you sign up and then there's not enough interest for us to be able to rent the coaches to be able to take us around, everybody will get a full refund on that. Once we hit the threshold, it's a non-refundable, and it'll be going full steam ahead.
Yep. But yeah, mine would, the 5K is non-refundable as well. And yeah, we can have it be as small or as big as we can make it, because we're not renting vehicles. Right, we walk over to the library. It will be the same course as last year.
Yes, if you went on the walking tour of because it was raining that morning, everybody wanted to walk inside. So I took everybody through our skyways, stewardess style, and
got them thoroughly lost. And yeah, because it's easy to get turned around indoors. At least it is for me.
Well, I took them all the way to the start of the race. So they didn't get lost on the way there.
No. I mean, if you had asked them to go back that way, they probably would be. But yeah, it's beautiful waterfront. The 5K is roommates If you have not filled out the roommate form and you indicated that you wanted to be a double, I should have contacted you via email. And yeah, if you haven't filled out the roommate form, that implies to me that you want a roommate assigned, and we'll be doing that after Friday, after Valentine's Day. And there's also a swap coming, but no details that we'll be sharing at this moment because we're running out of time.
Yes.
The most interesting podcaster in the world has talked too much, and
yeah, just know that we are planning to have one, and so be on the lookout for signups.
Things are coming. They're coming your way.
Yeah.
We're pushing them out there.
Yep, it's starting to just pick up momentum. We're ready.
Woo!
We're getting there.
The retreat train is a coming. June is soon.
How many days?
I think it was like 140 the last time I looked.
Oh, it's down to like 120.
Okay.
I'm sure.
I could look it up, but it wouldn't be very interesting.
Right, that's right, because we don't double check while we're on here.
You can go out to zombieapocalypse.com and see the countdown.
What's that?
Google.
That's right. Bye.
Bye, Ukta.